Is Ethereum getting ready to make a big move to the upside? In this video, I'm going to take a look at the price action of Ethereum. I'm going to show you some things that I'm looking at on the charts, and I'm going to share some levels of interest with you, as well as some potential targets for the short to mid term if Ethereum performs a nice breakout for us. So let's get into the video. And here we have Ethereum up on the daily chart in TradingView, ETH versus USD on the daily. Yesterday's candle, pretty significant. We see this candle body closure coming in, wiping out all these candle body closures here. But what's more is that is the highest close, at least on this chart, in Ethereum's history. So certainly a nod to the bulls for that one. We do see it coming in on some, fairly lackluster volume down below, not getting above the moving average. However, we do see that today's candle so far has come back down and tested this area's support, and so far finding it as support. So overall, definitely giving a nod to the bulls right here. We see this upsloping trend line coming into play here. We don't see any candle body closures, in the last week and a half or so there. Lots of wicks getting down to that area, but so far holding as support as price action just continues to grind up against the all-time high. So overall, looking bullish here. Dropping down on the RSI. We see that the RSI is back in the bullish control zone right here. We see that the EMA is still in the neutral zone, getting close to that bullish control zone as well. Nice positive slope on it. And we see that it was found as support for the RSI back here. And we see the RSI like literally front running it on every single time it's come even anywhere near it since. So RSI, plenty of room to run. This is a nice looking signature right here as the price action itself is flirting with a massive breakout here, potentially sometime soon. Dropping down to the stochastics, they look to be just cooling off to me. I mean, when an asset is trending or brushing up against an all-time high, you'll see stochastics get in this area and just kind of swerve around. They are more of a range-bound momentum indicator. So at the end of the day, maybe they cool off a little bit more here, and it would just look like a bullish reset. Price action is king, and I mean, look where we are. We're just brushing up against the all-time high here. Would not be surprised one bit if we get a breakout here sometime very, very soon. We also see that the volatility is right on the floor here, printing a zero read. We see the moving average is in a nosedive position here. Typically, I look for the moving average to come in. I look for it to flatten out, get that positive slope to the upside. You see several times where the volatility tries to jump up above it here, but it's not really until we get that nice positive slope and the expansion of that until we get that massive volatility entering into the market. And if we look left here, the last time we saw that happen, so right back in here, so roughly around this engulfing candle here, if I was to take a price range from the top of that up to this swing high right here, that would be, that's a 23% move. So definitely tradable. Now, obviously we saw a correction come in off that point there. I mean, had anybody held from that point to this point now, you would have got 34%, but unlikely any traders that are looking for a day trade or a scalp would have held through this price action, as you would have literally gone underwater, likely triggering some risk management here, but now working its way to the upside. So at the end of the day, the volatility is not going to give us the direction, but it can let us know that some major volatility is coming and that there could be some pretty monumental moves. I always look to develop my bias off the price structure itself. And what do we see here? We're just seeing an uptrend. I mean, we're seeing a series of higher highs, higher lows, and now we're in contact with the all-time high. And the only real correction we've seen on this chart since sticking in the bottom way back here is it from this level here, and we see that we got natural corrections. We had the pullback here, we had a lower high, lower low, and then off to the races again. So, I mean, there's been pretty much nothing but strength inside this chart other than this correction here, which is not unreasonable to see some profit taking after a giant move off the floor back here. I mean, if we just stretch the price range like this, that was a nice 127% move. So any swing traders get into positions there were probably happy to take some profit here and probably reloaded their bags in this area as well. So things are looking good here. I would say for some bias busters to the downside, a warning shot for me would be getting back, would be taking out this upsloping trend line here. I never manage risk off those areas per se, but I would consider that a bit of a warning shot. And then perhaps I'd be watching for a deeper retrace somewhere down around this level here, which is $3,960. If we start breaking down below that, perhaps we'd see price action get down as low as 3,620, and I wouldn't have any major issues with this if price action decided to do that. I don't think that's what's going on here. I'm personally looking for the breakout. However, my confirmation is going to be a daily candle body close above the top side of this level here. If we see a daily candle body close at above 4,385, flipping this into support, then I think Ethereum is going to go into some pretty serious price discovery. And I'd say for midterm targets, we could do something like this. I'm just going to stretch this from here. We'll stretch it down to that wick right here. Some people use the candle bodies for their fibs, but I like to use the wicks. And as you can see right now, The first algo target has actually already been tested as far as I'm concerned, which is the 1.272. And this wick right here, I consider that a test. I mean, this is T8, doesn't have to be perfect, but that is close enough. So the next algo targets I'd be watching in the midterm would be the 1.414 right here. And that's coming in at approximately $4,600. And more likely, we'd likely see this come up and hit the 1.618, which is coming in around $4,890. So if you see price action bust through the all-time high here and start hitting some of those levels, if you see some hesitation on it, maybe even a little bit of profit taking, like perhaps we see price action get up, hit the 1.618, pull back a little bit here, just know that that is a very common algo target. A lot of traders watch those levels, and likely we would just see some short-term profit taking at best, as I typically don't see an asset macro reverse off those levels unless there's some kind of black swan. I think over time we could start looking to some of these higher fib levels, and as you can see, the next algo targets after that are getting into some pretty nice looking Ethereum targets here. So we'll definitely keep our eyes on this and assess things going forward. But overall, I would say that ETH is looking good, and that a breakout here could be very much imminent. And I'll be watching those algo targets when that time comes. Anyhow, thanks so much for coming by and checking out this video. Hope you're all doing well out there. Looking forward to seeing the next one. And until I do, have yourself a powerful day.